Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to, let's see, this is our third DMALA meeting of 2022. Ideally, it would have been our fifth. It is what it is. I'm Warren Heaton, and other co-hosts on with me today are Michael Mondragon, Mike White, and Nadia Hernandez. Let's see, I've got a couple updates for us. Well, I was going to quickly go around and just ask which co-hosts maybe had some things they want to share about what might be going on in the industry or the world of motion graphics. And I know, Michael, you had something to discuss.
Yeah, I was super excited to hear that Adobe Max, which has been online for the last 2 years due to COVID, it's actually back. So if you go to adobe.com/Max, you can see this. And if you want to get back in, it's in October. It's back in Los Angeles. I'm selfishly liking it because it's in Los Angeles.
LA makes it very easy for us to attend.
It makes it very easy, but it's also stressful too. It's also getting down there and parking and all that stuff. But I'm super excited that it's back. It's in Los Angeles, but it's also, they're keeping it virtual as well. So if you go here and you go to the join the mailing list, you can find out when you can register for it. And that's a big part of it. But yeah, I'm super excited to have it back. It's always one of my favorite times of the year because I get to connect with the Adobe community, but I also get to see old friends I haven't seen in a long time. So I'm definitely looking forward to it again this year.
And if you can't get time off work, you can attend virtually. And if you are trying to book a hotel, downtown, there's what's the term in the hotel industry? They call it compressed when there's a big event. So of course the prices go way up. But you can also stay further out and either, we do have a couple subway lines. Like if you were in Mid-Wilshire or you were staying in Hollywood, you could hop on the subway to get there. Of course, this is all pending your comfort level with mass transit in Los Angeles. And of course, COVID is still a thing, right? So there's all that comfort level factor, which we all have to work out for ourselves. But Uber as well, right? I'm pretty sure Ubering in from like Beverly Hills might cost the same as paying for parking when you get there. I think I paid like $25 for parking once. So well, I can't guarantee an Uber from Beverly Hills to downtown is going to be $25, but just something to think about. You don't have to be downtown. Of course, if your company's paying for it and you can get like a nice view from the international downtown, I say go for it. Right?
Yes.
Let's see. So let's see some different updates to talk about. We promote the Adobe Meetup that happens. Adobe runs every month. It was yesterday. But if you happen to go to YouTube for it, well, I went, and there were 19 people just sitting there waiting there. And something happened that they were locked out of YouTube. So the creative character animator event, it happened live. But if you were smart enough to go back to the post about it, there was a link. If you tried a different link, like for Facebook, you would have seen it. But if you tried the link for YouTube and just sat there, there was a little bit of chit chat going on in the chat, but you kind of missed it. And so hopefully they think they have that resolved. I talked to Linda Paulson, and it shouldn't happen again, but you never know. Let's see, another thing I wanted to discuss is I've noticed it seems like there's a little bit more of an uptick about like people get really, really mad when their After Effects crashes. And of course that is a natural reaction, right? And you can direct that fury at anything you want, but you really need to take a deep breath, put on your we're creatives, we're motion designers, we're graphic designers, but you need to take that hat off and put on, well, hopefully you have an IT department to reach out to, but maybe you have to put your own software technician hat on or your own hardware technician hat and start working through why is my After Effects crashing? And I've known fonts. Sometimes I refer to fonts as little crash demons because they're a little harder to pick out if they're the thing causing the crash. And they can even be a bit more of a pain. Well, Adobe Fonts has made it easier to re-download a font, but it used to be you had your font library on a CD-ROM and the font got corrupted. And then maybe for me, you had to go find that CD-ROM to restore it. And I was like, where's the CD-ROM? And so corrupt fonts. Let's see, third-party plugins are also just as likely to cause frequent crashes in After Effects. Your operating system, system drivers, your preferences file. So knowing how to keep your preference file, back it up, but then reset it and see if maybe that's causing the crash. And also weird software conflicts, things that seem totally unrelated. In like the mid 1990s, there was a fax extension for like Mac OS 8 that might have been Mac OS 9. That's all blurry. But there was a fax driver. And do any of us remember faxes at all? No, I mean, I think a handful of places still, like, I think the medical industry and the legal field still use them.
Yeah.
But if the fax driver loaded, everything in After Effects turned into 0 pixel by 0 pixel. And if the fax driver was disabled, it all worked. And you're like, how the heck could a fax driver affect After Effects, right? But your computer's everything working together. And that can be a tough thing to like sort out. So hopefully you have an IT person just say, hey, my After Effects won't stay open. And they just fix it like that, right? Or they they swap out your machine and you're on a different machine and it's all working. But I think realistically, we've got to like try to work through what are those issues, right? And there are crash logs, but those tend to be written like in a completely foreign language. I think if you're a coder, maybe you can figure that out a little bit. But everyone's After Effects is working perfectly, right? Yeah. No. My 2021 is pretty solid. My 2022, the third-party plugins, if they're not multi-frame rendering compatible, they're supposed to just not use the multi-frame rendering and just slow things down. But I think my 2022 is crashing because of the plugins, the gazillion plugins I have and purchased and I spent money on, and in my opinion, should just work perfectly. There's something in that list that still isn't quite gelling with the newest version. But speaking of plugins, Boris FX just dropped an update today. I meant to write down the version. It's something 0.5. So it's maybe a good example of if your After Effects is really stable, maybe hold off a little bit before you install that update, right? But maybe they've added like a bunch of presets to that update. So maybe you want to start exploring that. You just keep in mind that you install it. If somehow something in the Boris FX is causing a crash, know how to work your way back out of that, right? Okay, so will anyone else have a topic they want to maybe add? I think Mike and Nadia, you guys said you didn't have anything for this month.
Oh, actually, I remembered right now.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
Yeah, somebody hit me up on LinkedIn for a mid to senior 3D animator position, but I'm already booked until September. So I just wanted to put it out there. I'm going to put a link in the private chat. Maybe we can share it. And it's with Eklund and Adobe. It sounds like a really cool opportunity. So if anybody is interested, go check it out. Yeah.
Very cool. And Mike, can you get that, or is that something we would put on Facebook?
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments right now, and then I'll put it everywhere we can. So that's where you can find it right there. I put it in the comments, but I'll definitely put it on our Facebook.
Okay.
Sweet.
Perfect. Okay, and so our guest, I'm starting to think we need to we need to start calling ourselves Digital Media Artists International, because last month we had someone from Scotland, I think. This month we have someone who's in Tokyo, Japan, and that would be I've been practicing his last name, but Dan Nisttahuz.
That's correct. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
All right, awesome. So we have Dan Nisttahuz, he's with LottieFiles. Dan, tell us a little bit about LottieFiles and how that relates to After Effects.
Yeah, for sure. So LottieFiles, is a big platform of we can say like animated assets. So we are the largest platform in the world of animated assets, and not only that, right now we are partnership and collaborating, and of course, supporting different companies all over the world and in different industries. Let's say like bringing motion to their websites and also to their applications. So what is cool in LottieFiles is that you can enter and take an animation all for free. But also, if you are working in an animation with Adobe After Effects, so you can export it directly to the platform. So you can use the platform to preview and also, to host your animations. And if you need, anything like a big library of animation, so you can go there and download it. So you can work in different ways. Plus, we have also integrations. So integrations is, a collections of different plugins. We have a big lineup. So you name it. We have, Adobe XD, After Effects, Animate. And not only that, but also we support different design tools. So everything is connected. I see LottieFiles like the hub of your animations. So you can use all the different plugins to enter, to LottieFiles and grab the animation and put it in the other different tools. So I think this is very impressive, and the community is very supportive. We have a large community and more people that they are interested to create animations and add there to the website and mobile apps. And I think probably right now the world is changing a little bit, because before it was more like a luxury. It's a commodity, and always you can feel like, motion was, let's say, in some way, connected with the question, if we have time, maybe, so something like that. But now more people are saying like, hey, we can do motion. And the reason, because that is like, some years ago, you're a designer, you have some crazy ideas, you want to add motion there, but you don't have the tools, and you totally depend on the developer. And probably the developer doesn't have the same, eye on design or some skills. And also, for a company, it's like, man, we don't have time. We need to work in this other feature. Why we care about motion? So you can see just probably big companies where the resources maybe are infinite. So that's when you see like, beautiful motion stuff. But now is some way that we democratize, motion everywhere. So you're a designer, After Effects, boom, you can create, an animation, and then give it to the developer, and the developer, takes this animation in a JSON format. So, how it works, you have After Effects, you create animation, and then you export it with using our plugin, in a JSON. So JSON file is, a bunch of code that, like the Matrix, nobody understands, and we don't care. Also, we shouldn't care.
Well, coders understand it, right? You got
yeah.
Some people just look right in there and go, "Oh, that's what it's doing." Yeah,
exactly.
If
Yeah,
you're
so
more
they
of a
can
slanted
even
towards
use it.
designer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's matrix text, exactly. No.
Exactly. So the thing is like, the coders, they get this, and the only thing they do is, drag and drop it, apply it to any framework, iOS, Android, or the web, and that's it. So, coders, they don't care about, let's say like the animation, because we already took care of that. And also we don't care about, how difficult it could be, because we are working everything in After Effects. So I think that is the big advantage, and more people, they are using it, they are working with that. And yeah, we have different tools also to support that. So for example, if you would like to add the colors of your brand, so go to LottieFiles, change the colors to any type of animation. You have an animation probably in 5 seconds. If you want to create like a small animation, I don't know, with an SVG icon, for example, we have a tool called SVG to Lottie. The only thing you need to do is to drag and drop, boom, an animation. So 1 second. So there are many different tools that we are creating and we are supporting to make more Lotties, and I think this is helping lots of designers.
I think there's definitely there seems to be a burgeoning movement of from After Effects publishing to Lottie. Oh
yeah.
Now, so you mentioned Adobe Animate. Does that mean you could be your Animate animation could also go to Lottie?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have
I didn't know that before tonight. So
yeah, we have the plugin in
cool.
beta, but yes, you can do that. So probably the downside, to be honest, of working, with the plugin and everything is many, like, let's say like the plugin doesn't support like third-party, plugins from After Effects.
So you have to basically stick with After Effects native animation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there is always some way you can find ways to hack. In some way you can see like people, they are creating some beautiful stuff, and you don't know that even it's a Lottie, and then you say, shit, this is amazing. How they come with this idea. So there's ways to figure out, to be really smart and to put it there. But I think having this tool it's really great. So it's like the first step, and who knows, maybe in the next years, the tool will be more powerful, and we can support third-party plugins. But yeah, it's really impressive to have this, very, very handy for any designer.
Definitely. And Michael, you were commented earlier about needing to bring motion to UX, right?
Yeah, it's actually like, using Sketch or XD or in our demonstration, you'll see it's in Figma. And then when you put it out there, it's so you would think that you would use something natively to create this animation, but to actually create it the way that it's being done in our presentation, it's kind of mind blowing because it's definitely super. It's a lot lighter. It's not as heavy. And when I say heavy, I mean like it's not like a lot of memory. Not memory. Like megabytes.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I'm impressed with this. That it brings to, and especially even on the web, like you can, it's actually all code. Am I correct, Dan?
Yeah, exactly. It's all code.
Yeah. So that's impressive.
Yeah, and as Michael mentioned, is very light. So, for example, if we talk, PNG versus GIF or versus Lottie, so a PNG will be, similar like a T-Rex. And then like a GIF will be like an elephant, and Lottie will be like a tiny puppy, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very convenient. And besides that, you see the quality is crystal clear. You can see it's vectorized. So that is the big advantage. For example, we can create some beautiful stuff, and then we export it like MP4, and or maybe like a GIF, and you see the blurriness pixels. But this is like vectorized. And plus it's light, so why not? I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons.
So efficient and high quality, which
exactly
checks off two really important things when you want low bandwidth delivery. So,
yep.
We have your presentation pre-recorded on video. Anyone watching live, we'll do questions and answer after the video finishes. So if you have questions, be sure to put that into the chat. And I guess, should we go ahead and start the video, or?
Sure, let's do it.
Hello everyone, my name is Dan from LottieFiles, and today I have something really special. Today, we are going to recreate this iPad mini animation from apple.com. So, let's begin. The first thing we will do is to go to apple.com, and over there, let's go and enter to the iPad section, and let's click on iPad mini. And as you can see, we have this beautiful animation, and well, turns out that this is a Lottie. So, how do I know that? It is because we are using this tool called Lottie Grabber. So it's an extension that works for Chrome. And if you want to have this, just go to the extensions library, and over there you will find Lottie Grabber. It was made by our VP in engineering, Joe. He's a very talented guy. So as you can see, and if we come back here and we tap here, actually this extension gives a lot of information. We can see the height, the width, the frame rate, and also, the number of frames. So this is very important because we can deduce from this, the duration. So in this case, 60 frames per second, 120 frames. So it means 2 seconds. And not only that, we will actually grab this animation with Edit Lottie. So this will open the Lottie editor. And this tool actually will give us, some other stuff. As you can see, we also have the duration and, some other features. But we'll just focus to actually upload this animation to our library. So we'll click over here, and this will upload the animation to our private library. So as you can see, now we have the animation. And why we are doing that? Because we will use this animation as blueprint to recreate it. So once we'll have this, we'll move to Figma. This is Figma over here. So the only thing I will do is to right click and look also for the LottieFiles plugin. There you go. And in case you don't have the LottieFiles plugin, it's really easy to find it. The only thing you need to do is to go to Community and search for LottieFiles, and boom, you have the plugin over here. So going back to our exercise, the next thing we'll do is to go to My Animations, and over here, we'll select this animation, which is by Apple, and we'll do two things. The first one, we'll insert this as SVG because we want to grab this asset exactly as it is. And then we need also the GIF version. So I will show you why. So first, I will click over here, and as you can see, I can play, you know, with the frames, but I would choose this frame because it's the complete frame, and I will insert as SVG. And also, you know, I will ask to convert it as a GIF. So in the meantime, it's converting to GIF. What I will do is to, you know, just actually delete some of the frames, unnecessary frames. And this is normal, especially when we are using different masks and we actually import it as SVG. So we'll have different frames, maybe assets or, you know, some kind of weird stuff. So don't worry about it. There you go. And the only thing that interests us is this mini. So also we can delete this other frame over here. So now we can call this as, you know, just mini. So this is something that we will use actually to animate, and it will be part of our animation. And as you can see, it's vectorized. And also it has the gradient. So this is perfect for us. And now we have the GIF over here, and we'll hit over here, add to Figma. And this will insert the GIF animation. So I will just close my plugin. And from here, you know, I will just adjust it. Don't worry if it's cropped, you know, we always can adjust it. And if you remember, you know, the sizes of the animation was 572. And, you know, the height was 112. There you go. So now that we have this one, let me put it over here. I will make another copy. And I will double click over here, come to GIF, and, you know, put it in the last frame. There you go. So why I need these two? This is my initial frame, and I will use this, you know, as a blueprint in After Effects. And this is my last frame. So also I will use it just to, you know, accommodate all the different text and also this asset. And over here we have this asset that we'll use for the actual animation. So over here, we can call this, you know, iPad mini. Or, you know, let's make it simple. We can call this script because of the typeface, and this other one just sans serif. There you go. And this will be, you know, our blueprints. So the only thing we'll do is export these two layers as PNGs to this folder. Okay, save. And we will do the same thing for this over here. You know, export as PNG with the alpha. And this is mini. There you go. So now we have our three assets that will help us to create the Lottie animation. So let's open After Effects. And as you can see, I have After Effects open already. And you know, what we'll use, and it's very handy, is the LottieFiles plugin. So I will go to my animations, and actually this will help us to understand how the animation is working. Okay, this is good. And in case you didn't install the LottieFiles plugin, so the only thing you need to do is to go to LottieFiles.com/integrations. And over there we have multiple integrations for the most popular frameworks. In this case, you know, you can click over here for After Effects. And as you can see, we have a very nice video, and we have two ways to install, you know, via ZXP or also via Adobe Exchange. I normally use Adobe Exchange because it's more easy. And then, you know, once you have the plugin installed, the next thing you need to do is to come to Window and then go to Extensions and select LottieFiles. Okay, perfect. So now we can create a new composition. And over here, as you remember, we are using the width 572 and the height 112. And we can call this iPad mini animation. There you go. Then in the frame rate, 60 frames per second, and also for the duration too. For the background, it's good white, no problem with that. We hit OK. Nice. So the next thing we need to do is to grab, you know, all our elements that we exported and just place it over here. Boom, there you go. So, you know, we'll organize them a little bit. As you can see, we have the sans serif, we have the mini, and then we have the script. So these two, they're just, you know, for reference. So I would just select both of them, and I would change its color. Maybe we can use aqua. Yeah. And this is actually part of the animation. So now I will place this exactly where it should be. So I will just hide sans serif, and, you know, we will select this one and just move it right here. Okay, good. So this is the first step, and we don't need it anymore. And now we also need to recreate, iPad and iPad mini. For that, no problem with that, we can select the text, click over here, and then we can type. There you go. And just a small detail, for this font, actually, you can use SF Pro. In my case, I'm using SF Pro Display because I think I have some problem of compatibility, but Apple right now is using one typeface, which is called SF Pro. SF Pro Display is the old version. So I'm using SF Pro Medium and 144, and let me just place it. There you go. But, make sure that the anchor point is not in this corner. For that, there is a easy way to fix, press Command, Option, and Home. There you go. And we have the anchor point in the right place. So one of the reasons that I'm not, typing iPad mini is because we want iPad and mini separated. So in this case, okay, we have iPad, and now, we just can hide the script, and then we can put the sans serif. And, the only thing I will do is select this layer, copy and paste over here, and I'll just place it right here and change this for mini. There you go. Then I'll select this one and also place it. Okay, perfect. So now, as you can see, we have iPad mini, in sans serif, so also we don't need this. There you go. And the only thing we need is this other one. So we have the three of them. And also I think we can change this, to red. So we make sure that these three are the one that we'll use for the animation. Okay, that's perfect. So now, the next thing we will do is very, very simple and easy. So we'll create a mask using, the stroke and the pen tool. So for that, I will select this mini. And, I will go to the pen tool. And over here, I will just draw. And what I need to follow is actually the pink pad. The one from the script. So I will do so. It doesn't have to be perfect, just something like this. Because actually this first mask will help us, to hide the word mini. So you can, you need to go until the dot of the eye and also come back over here. And, the same process a little bit here. Okay, this is really good. And the next thing we will do, we'll just go to Effect and then Generate and then look for Stroke. There you go. So we'll change the size of the brush. So we can select something like this. The idea is that to hide, all the black text. So as you can see, yeah, something like that. So we are changing, the brush to almost, 30. And then, the other thing also that we need to change is here. Reveal original image. There you go. Then, just to test, we can hide what it says mini over here. So we hide this one, the script one. Okay, so what's the next step? We actually need to create the animation, the one that will wipe, the word mini, the one in black. So this will actually help us, to understand when everything is starting. So we can say that in frame 9, the animation starts. So we just can put, the scrubber to frame 9. There you go. And over here, we just, add a keyframe, just right here in start. And then, just see when it ends. And it looks like it ends just right here in frame 68, which means 1 second plus, 8 frames. There you go. So now we put this to 100%. Cool. And now, we need to do almost the same steps for the script. So over here, we'll just hide this one and I will focus on script. Okay, cool. So the next thing we need to do is to come here, and make sure that you're selecting mini, and then we'll use the pen tool. So over here, as you can see, we have like a small, white square. It means that we are using a mask. So, we just need to draw the outline. And yeah, in this case, probably, try to be the most accurate as you can. So as you can see, we have our stroke. And the next thing we will do is just to come here, go to Effects, And, we'll go to generate. And again, the drill, stroke. And we'll just increase the size of the brush. So maybe something like this. So 17, maybe we can put 18. It's okay. I think, we just need to move this one a bit. There you go. And then, this will actually start, in the other way around. So we will use the keyframe for end. So in this case, again, first, don't forget to change this to reveal original image. And then we will use this also as a reference. So we can see that exactly at this time, yeah, probably will be like, 11 frames is when the animation is starting. So we can put this to 11 frames and, we hit the stopwatch and we can create, our animation. So over here, we'll put 0. And then if we go just right here, yeah, we are talking about 108. So it means, around 1 second, 48 frames. There you go. So over here, we will add another keyframe to 100. So if we see the animation, there you go. So now, as you can see, we'll turn on also the mini animation. Okay, so if we take a look how it looks like, you can see our animation. So this is pretty dope. Okay, so the last part will be to add the dots. And for that, very, very simple. Maybe you already guessed it. We just need to create 2 circles and, and just animate the scale. So for that, I will just, hide all of these and I will use this one, the script version. And, I can zoom maybe, I don't know, 400%. I will press the space bar key and over here, select ellipse tool and I will create, 2 circles over here. So to change this right now, we are using just stroke. We don't need stroke actually, so we can avoid that. But yes, we need the fill and we can hit OK. For this, I will grab the pointer and, I will just change a little bit the size. So in this case, I can come here, go to transform and I will scale it. Okay, so if you have this small error, it means that the anchor point is not well placed. So just select again the shape over here and press Command Option Home. There you go. So I will just zoom in this a little bit. And as you can see over here, we need just to scale it down a little bit, maybe until here. So, maybe the circle that you are creating won't have the same, size as mine. So, just try to keep it in 100. But, remember, the size that you will put it over here, in this case, the same size that you will use it is the maximum size that you need to arrive. So remember this size because this is important. At the end, this will be our last frame. So, okay, the only thing we need to do over here is just to animate it. And we'll see when actually the dot starts animating. So we can say that, in frame 93, which means, 1 second and 33 frames, just around here. There you go. That's when our animation starts. So we'll put, a keyframe. We'll put this to 0. And then we keep scrubbing and we see that it ends in frame, we can say 108. So it means, 48 from here. There you go. So we can put the scale back to 82. Okay, nice. And then we have also this other dot. So in this case, I will just select this one, copy, paste, and we can call this, dot 1, and this other one, dot 2. There you go. So in this case, what I will do, so I will select dot 2 and I will just move it over here. So it looks like it starts maybe here. 101, so it means, 41 frames. I mean, 1 second and 41. So I would just put it here, 41. So just open this one. I can see the transform. And we can say like, okay, it will start around here. And then, it ends just right here. 114. So it means 54. 1 second and 54. So just right here. Okay, perfect. Now, we can change its color. So we can make it more similar to this part. There you go. And the same thing for the other dot. So we'll select dot 1 and, I'll pick this color. Nice. Okay, so we are done with this one. I will hide it. And then, also I would change these two, the colors to red. That's nice. So we are sure which one we are working with. Okay, I'll put this back, to fit up to 100. And I will see my animation. There you go. So now that we are happy with this, the next step will be to render. So for render is super simple. Just click over here. And as you can see, we have our composition called iPad mini animation. We click on render. And this will take just a few seconds. There you go. And as you can see, we have our animation. So the next step will be just to upload it. So we upload also to our library. And that's many of the advantages that we have using the LottieFiles plugin, because after you render, boom, you just can upload it to the LottieFiles library. So once this will be done, we'll just go back to Figma. There you go, congratulations. And now we just go back to Figma. And over here, I would just right click and look for the LottieFiles plugin. There you go. And as you can see, we have our animation, which is this one. So we click here, and then we can select convert to GIF. Okay, there you go. So as you can see, we have a small issue here because we forgot to change the background. So I made it in purpose because many of you will have the same issue, and this is very easy to fix it. Go back, and the only thing you need to make sure is that the background is not in none. So for that, just put it white, hit OK, and then convert to GIF. Okay, perfect. Now we can click Add to Figma. And we can close the LottieFiles plugin. So now that we have this in Figma, again, don't worry if it looks cropped. We can change the width and the height. So in this case, we don't have to worry so much in the original width and height. We actually need to match, what we have over here. So I will press K. And we can just, change its opacity. So this one is an actual screenshot from apple.com, as you can see. And I just leave it this so we can use this as a reference. So I will change the opacity to maybe, 20, just to know how we will place this. And, press K. And it will be just right here. Okay, perfect. So now I would change back the opacity to 100. Okay, good. Then I can hide this GIF, and over here, just to hide this part, I can do something really quick, a very quick solution. I will create a rectangle, and I will use, the same color as the background. There you go. And then I can lock it. Okay, cool. Then put this here and put it on top. Nice. But as you can see, we have this in white. And actually there's a solution, and I thank so much to my friend Kailash from Unacademy. This is a great designer, and he actually showed me this tip the other day. So if you have an animation, a GIF animation, and of course it has a background, so the only thing you need to do is to come here in Figma and choose darken. Boom, there you go. And you may be wondering, does this work also, with the script version? I mean, yeah, let's check it out. So I will press play. And we'll just wait for a while. And yes, it does. So this is pretty neat. Again, thank Kailash and please follow him. Okay, just going back. So we have our screen over here. I would just move this, to the bottom. And let's say like, we want to give just a cool animation, So this is very simple to do. I will just select this one. I will duplicate it. And on top this animation, we can even give like a sort of fade out. So we can select desktop 3 in this case, go to prototype, and then, we'll just create a link to the next frame, and we'll say like after delay, maybe, I don't know, we can put like, it's okay, 800. Smart Animate is perfect. Goes to desktop 4. No problem with that. That's fine. And, we can say like, okay, after this finish, go over here and we can put the opacity to 0. Nice. So we will have like a sort of, fade in. And then, after this, so we can create a loop. So we can select this one and we say, okay, you can go back to the first one. So again, to prototype and just point it here. And we'll say like after delay, again, 800, we have a Smart Animate and we can see how actually it works. Yeah, I think it's going a little bit faster. So, we can change this. So we'll say like once it goes, after delay. So over here, maybe we can put it like 1500. And over here, 50. And let's see how it works. So we hit play. There you go. So that's it. That's how you can recreate the iPad mini Lottie animation from Apple, and how you can implement it also in your prototypes using Figma. So that's it for today. I really hope you like it. And if you have any comments or questions, please let us know. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
It's actually very cool. It really is.
Thank you so much, guys.
And Dan, you have a great personality for presentation too.
Thank you so much. I
It really
appreciate
comes
it.
across. Yeah. So I have, first, before anything else, something I forgot at the top of the meeting is announcing that we are sponsored by Adobe Systems Incorporated. I'm actually supposed to announce it at the beginning and the end of every meeting. So now it'll be kind of towards the end and then at the end of the meeting. I have some questions right off the bat. Does anyone else want to ask a question? No, so I
have
can
so
go
many.
fire away. So many.
I do.
Well, okay, I've got 2 questions and a comment. Actually 3 questions, I think. You use 60 frames per second on the After Effects side, and I'm wondering, I'm very used to for web delivery to keep a file efficient, to get that frame rate as low as possible, while wanting to keep it higher, because the higher that frame rate is, the smoother everything is. So I guess my question is how much does it affect the efficiency of the Lottie? Is 60 really the number you always use? Or is there an advantage to using 30 or 15?
I think
you're looking for a herky-jerky emotion. You'd go a low frame rate if you want it to be jerky, right? But
yeah. I think it depends on the context. So sometimes, as you say, this, even small details, when you change between, 30 to 60, it can probably modify the size of the Lottie. So it depends what exactly you are animating and, I don't know, the different assets you are using. So it's more a try and miss. But in this case, why we use 60, it is because, for example, when we're using Lottie Grabber, it gives us that information that is 60 frames per second.
So you were matching what you found in Lottie Grabber.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. So it looks like Apple were using that. So that's the in this case.
Lottie Grabber is a cool
it's magic.
little tool. Let's see. So Well, you went back to Figma, but we could have just as easily gone to Adobe XD, right? Or like
Exactly. So
what are prototypal to I can't say this. What like other prototyping tools besides Figma and XD can we bring our Lottie into? Or
there
are those the
are actually
primary ones?
no, there are plenty. There are plenty. So we work with the three main, let's say, like design tools. Sketch, Figma, and also Adobe
Right.
XD.
Okay.
And I would say, like between all of them, Adobe XD is the only one who supports Lottie natively. So that is a big advantage.
Okay.
And just to make it like one step complicated, that's when that's why I choose Figma, because the advantage with Adobe XD is you just drag and drop it, and you have the animation there, and it's vectorized, and you can do like components. So it's very simple. It's very simple. And yeah, some people, for example, when they are working with Sketch or Figma, they have the big challenge that the Lottie is not native. So at the end, what you're having is a GIF, and it sometimes it disencourage a little bit, because it's a GIF. It doesn't look, we have the background. But now also, the other day I was talking actually with this designer Kylish, and he said, this is the way I fix it, because sometimes what I was doing is just using from After Effects, GIF gun or some other tools, to export the GIF with transparency and then put it to Figma or Sketch. But in this case, I feel that it was an amazing tip to share. So that's why I chose that.
That is a good tip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although GIF gun, if you like animated GIF as a format that feels like it may live forever, right? It may outlast all of us. And GIF gun, if you have to make GIF files a lot, there's always the approach of taking it into like Photoshop, but that limits you to like 500 frames. But if you're having to create lots of animated GIFs, GIF gun is definitely worth looking into. Maybe I can get them to let us give away a GIF gun. But let's see. Other question. Well, actually, this one's not a question. More just earlier I talked about things that can crash After Effects, and you made mention of the Adobe Sf Pro Font. One of the bug fixes for After Effects 17 was that Adobe Sf Pro wouldn't crash your After Effects anymore. And like prior to that, you kind of had to like use it in Photoshop or Illustrator and let it come in as an AI or a rasterized Photoshop file, and not trying to turn it into a font in After Effects. Because like in After Effects 16, that font would have crashed your After Effects. But that was actually an Adobe side issue that needed to get fixed. So in theory, knock on whatever my table's made of, that shouldn't cause you trouble anymore. But that was an old sore spot. But that's my question. So
no, that's good to know. That's a great tip, because as you mentioned, sometimes we don't actually understand why the things are crashing or not. And there are some things that they're very subtle, that they are part of the environment that we live and the system, and we don't realize even. So we need to put attention, even in the small details, and in this case, the font. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, Mondragon, some of your questions?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you actually asked one of my questions. When I saw the 60 frames per second, like that was mind blowing. The fact that the Chrome extension actually told you that was even more incredible. But like, how did LottieFiles come to be, and like what is the purpose of LottieFiles going forward? What is their purpose of why they exist?
So our vision as a company is to add motion everywhere. So that is our main purpose. And actually, the company started with a goal to help the community. So, for example, before you create your animation and you didn't have a place to preview it. So it's like you create and you work like in Ninja mode, and then you give to the developer. So the only way to preview was in After Effects. So there is some disadvantage of that, because you don't know if it's working in Android, on the web, or maybe something is missing or looking weird. So with the platform, what they were doing is like you would drag and drop and you can see. So there is like a way to preview your animations. That was the start, and that, I think, unite the community and, help a lot of people just to put the animations over there. And I think that was, the cornerstone when they realized like, hey, we can make this bigger and we can help the community even more. So that's when we have, like public libraries, and everybody just put there. We also have, an option for any designer that would like to sell like premium animations. They can sell it there. And also, LottieFiles acquire another company called Icon Scout. So in Icon Scout, like premium LottieFiles asset. So you can have like the After Effects file. You can modify it if you want. So that is one thing. The other thing also is, as you can see, we are part of, let's say like an environment where we are fulfilled of different tools. So LottieFiles start creating like different integrations for that. So we have, plugins for After Effects, Animate, Figma, you name it. And the thing is like how actually you can connect your animation, to all these tools. So before, what you need to do is to download it as JSON, and I don't know, use a prototype, so I will upload it or something else. But if you have the plugin is like, the hub is the center of everything. So it's more like a starfish. You put your animations in the platform, and you can synchronize with all the different tools. And that is one of the main purposes. And after that, also, we are promoting like the new format called .lottie. So, right now we have JSON, which is the format everybody's using, but .lottie will be even tiny and more efficient. And yeah, we'll also have different plans that in the near future, we want to have like, in a way, different other tools that can help designers to collaborate even more. So not only stay there, but also, collaboration and how we can work together and be more efficient between designers, and also, with the handoff to the developers. So yeah, these are the plans.
And wait, that second or that new format, dub, is that DUB? And then la? Like, what are they? How do you spell that?
I know it's instead of .json, it's .lottie. So LOTTE.
Oh, .lottie. Okay. All right, got it. Cool.
I think it sounds really cool. It kind of sounds like a way to kind of streamline all of that creative process from getting something, from an animation application like straight into web. And to me, it just sounds really cool how compressed those files are, and how high quality they look. And I don't know, it sounds really cool, and hopefully it's something that could be integrated, and it could become like a new format, like a GIF, and it'll be like the industry standard.
Yeah, and I think a lot of companies they are helping on that, especially Adobe, because putting supporting Lottie as part of natively in their tools is something big. So you don't have to pass through the process as a GIF, but you're receiving like native Lottie. So this is really, really crazy.
Yeah, sounds very futuristic.
It's very cool to have it. What it looks like when you were in After Effects is what it looks like after you've given it to the coder and they've integrated. Like it should look. I mean, all sorts of stuff can happen to your design when the coder takes over, and this gives you that little extra insurance that at least the animation will look like it was supposed to.
Yeah, and I think the game changer is that you can resize it.
Yeah, being scalable is huge too.
Yeah.
Kind of flashing back to what was that? Sony Universal Media Disc, where you would design the animation for the menus. This is like 2006. You would design the animation in After Effects. You would keep it just the transform properties, and then you would save, after you got that design approved, you would save off PNG files for all the assets that are needed to layer the animation, and then hand off the PNGs to the coder. And then the coder over in the authoring environment for UMDs would attempt to recreate your animation. And you were like praying that it would look like even close to what like the client signed off on, right?
Yep.
Although that's a format that it was really big for like a year and then just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think back to that, what a headache that was. And then I see this and I go, where was a Lottie back then? I really do.
You only had to wait 16 to 18 years.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, hey, technology gets there.
There you go.
And then, of course, we're motion designers, right? So motion everywhere is like, yes, let's have that.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Okay.
Yeah,
Any other?
No, I just one last thing that actually we have also like the iOS app and also Android app, and one of the advantage of that is that you can test your animation. So, for example, sometimes some animations are working in Chrome, Safari, but once you figure out that it's working in the main browsers, so you can use the app, just scanning the QR code, and if you're with the iOS, it will tell you, yeah, the animation is working, so you see the animation working. But if you don't see the animation in the application, so yeah, it's not working. So you need just
So you got
to
something to
redo it.
troubleshoot. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
good to know.
yeah, we cover all the different corners, and yeah, but also we are very open, to new ideas and of course feedback. So we'll be happy with it.
Very cool. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that wraps up our presentation. Dan, again, thank you very much for making yourself available for this, and
Thanks for
thank you to the co-hosts. We're shooting for our next meeting. We're now on, what is it, fourth Thursday of every month. It's maybe looking like it's fourth Thursday of every other month, but keep an eye on our Facebook page. At some point, I'm going to try to see if I can figure out how to get Eventbrite to work for like online events. I've clicked through it, and I don't know, it's kind of trial and error. So if you get an accidental announcement via Eventbrite, well, hopefully that doesn't happen. But we are sponsored by Adobe Systems, and I hope everyone. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, right? And I think as long as we, personally, I think as long as we stay connected to our creative sense of self-expression, whatever crazy the world throws at us, hopefully we can deal with it, right? So hopefully that's all. Whatever crazy's happening, there's some balance with. Oh, I can go play with LottieFiles now. Or my After Effects didn't crash this afternoon, so I can experiment a little more with this animation. Right? So,
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's it.
Okay.
Well, then we will see you next time. Good night, everyone. Take care.
Okay. See you. Bye bye.